A machine-struck 18-karat gold disc can seem bland in comparison to the intricate trophies and expensive gifts of the modern world. Yet this medal is one of the most desired objects in the world because it is the pinnacle of achievement. Because becoming a Nobel laureate is the ultimate recognition of one's intellectual achievements and their contribution to society. Dating back to 1901, the Nobel Prizes were the brainchild of Alfred Nobel. Son of a chemist and an engineer, he grew up surrounded with inventions, eventually patenting the formula for dynamite. In an age of mining and war, this was extremely profitable for him. However, when his brother passed away, a local newspaper wrongly assumed it was Alfred who died and wrote up an obituary calling him the Merchant of Death. While the mistake was corrected, Alfred Nobel reflected on his impact on the world and, in an effort to rectify his image, rewrote his will. In it, he called for the formation of a trust, Nobel Foundation, which would distribute his fortunes in the form of prizes to those who conferred the greatest benefit on mankind. The prizes were to be divided into 5 parts. The Nobel Prizes for chemistry, physics, and medicine would be given to the individual who made the most important invention over the past year. The prize for literature would be given to the author of the most outstanding work, and the Peace Prize would go to an individual or organization working for fraternity among nations. One of the most contentious factors for the Nobel Prizes is the rule that a single award cannot be shared by more than 3 different individuals each year. This is especially important for the science prizes where research is extremely collaborative. This has often meant that the works of thousands of researchers has gone unrecognized. Most notably, when the 2017 Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded to Rainer Weiss, Kip Thorne, and Barry Barish for their contribution to LIGO, which led to the detection of gravitational waves. Despite the contributions of the upwards of 1,000 scientists and engineers in LIGO, the Nobel Committee continued its tradition of only awarding the prize to the top 3 physicists. Weirdly, one of the more debated issues with the Nobel Prize is at what point in one's career should someone be nominated. Johannes Fibiger was awarded the 1926 prize in medicine for his discovery of a parasite that caused cancer, but his theory was later discredited. Thus, the time lag between achievement and Nobel recognition became normal to ensure that all the discoveries stood the test of time. However, this has often meant that it can take years for one to win the Nobel Prize, with an average age of 58. And because of the Nobel statute for no posthumous nominations, many names go unawarded, such as Leo Tolstoy, J.R. Tolkien, and even Stephen Hawking. While Hawking wrote the theory of black holes back in the 1960s, its importance was not understood and evidence was undiscovered till much later. So when the 2020 Nobel Prize in Physics was awarded for black holes, Hawking had already passed away in 2018. The Nobel Prize Committee has also faced a lot of criticism for its selections, from Bob Dylan's selection for the 2016 Prize in Literature to Mario Losa's 2010 nomination for literature, where some believe that the political nature of his works was not deserving. Fritz Haber's 1918 selection for the Nobel Prize in Chemistry for synthesizing ammonia also saw criticism due to his role in weaponizing chlorine during World War I. This brings about a question as to whether the Nobel Foundation should have the right to rescind an award if a recipient fails to live up to particular standards. The Nobel statutes clearly state that no appeals can be made towards a laureate's nomination, as the prize is for the recipient's works till that point. This clause has been tested in recent history with Aung San Suu Kyi, the 1991 Peace Prize winner for campaigning for democracy, who failed to speak out against the military crackdown of Rohingyas in the Rakhine state. The biggest controversy rising over the past few years is the lack of diversity in the recipients of the prizes. Since the inaugural prize in 1901 till 2020, only 57 of the 930 Nobel recipients have been women, which amounts to an apprehensive percentage of 6.2. And while over the past few years, 28 women have received a Nobel, many still consider this as too low. During the 1930s, Lise Meitner was a physicist who used Otto Hahn's experiments to develop the theory of nuclear fission, yet her name was left off the final paper, which eventually got the 1944 Nobel Prize in Chemistry. Esther Letterberg, who pioneered the method for the transferal of bacterial colonies, allowing for the study of antibiotic resistance, was also left out when it came to nominations. This lack of diversity is seen across many other metrics. Over the past century, the Nobel Prize has been awarded 603 times to 930 different individuals and 25 organizations, yet just 57 of these individuals were Asian. The Nobel Committee has often shown a blatant disregard to many Asian nominations. For example, R.K. Narayan, one of the most revered Indian authors, was denied a prize in literature because the committee felt that his writing was too simple and not progressive. While Satyendra Bose, whose research on particles and behavior of photons laid the foundation for quantum physics, lost 4 nominations because the committee didn't see his work worthy of the Nobel. Other communities are also woefully underrepresented in the prizes, with 16 Black Nobel laureates and only 6 LGBT laureates. This complete lack of diversity is a representation of the workings of the intellectual world, especially when concerned with academics. The impact of Nobel Prizes on modern society is undeniable. They have encouraged scientific advancements, global cooperation, and a hunger for knowledge. And so while greater transparency from the Nobel Foundation is necessary, the world needs more Nobel laureates to recognize the efforts of more people and encourage change.